Hey everybody, quick kind of gear review slash overview for this video. I'm going to talk about 50 round pods. So I don't use a lot of paint. You'll see in my videos I use 10 round tubes pretty much exclusively. It's been a long time since I used a hopper and pods. I think it was Castle last fall 2011 was the last time I used a hopper at all. When I do use a hopper, I typically go with a little 50 rounder and some 50 round pods. So like for a big scenario game like Castle, that'll be my kind of thing. When it comes to 50 round pods, you basically have three options. One, you can make them yourself. You can fill up a regular pod with 50 paintballs and then measure where you need to cut it, take the lid off and put it on the bottom part, and you have a little homemade 50 round pod. That works pretty well. If you don't want to make your own, you have two options. You have the APP 50 round pod, that's this guy, and you have the Gen X Global 50 round pod, that's this guy. As you can see, they are not the same thing. The APP actually holds 58 paintballs, which is a little more than 50, of course, and it's built a little differently than the Gen X Global. So the lid itself, this whole kind of collar and lid, that's removable. You can take that off, and a lot of people will take these off and put them on 50 round hoppers and use that as the hopper lids, because the lids on small hoppers tend to be not that good, so you see a lot of Winchesters with these. Solid material, it's got these little bumps that keep it from sliding in and out of a pack, but doesn't really make it hard to get back in, which is good. The quality of the lids is pretty good. I've had one or two where the spring popped out here, so it didn't really like pop open and whatever. I have noticed some variation in the lids as far as the locking. Most of them are fine, but maybe 1 in 10 are really hard to open, and maybe 1 in 10 pop open a little too easily. But for the most part, this is good. But as I said, at 58 rounds, it's actually a little bigger than unmodified 50 round hoppers like the Winchester or the APP 50 round hopper. So that's something to consider. This guy is a little bit different. The plastic isn't as thick or strong, I don't think, as the APP pod, but at the same time, I've never had any problems with these cracking or breaking or anything. As you can see, the lid is attached. There's no collar where you could pop it off. It's your basic kind of spring-loaded plastic hopper lid. Again, you know, every now and then the springs kind of pop out and you have to get them back into their little thing. Never had any problems with these being too hard or too easy to open, which is partially, I think, a result of the materials being a little lower quality, so they have that give to them. As far as size goes, this is actually pretty close to a true 50 round pod, so this typically isn't going to overfill a 50 round hopper. So as far as which one you want, it comes down to personal preference. I prefer these guys because, like I said, I use 50 round hoppers, specifically this right here, one of the APP 50 rounds, which I'll talk about another time. This larger pod slightly overfills it, which isn't good. So I prefer these guys, but your experience may be different. These work really well with the bigger sport shot hoppers. Really up to you, whatever you prefer, but that's my take on 50 round pods that are out there. Thanks for watching.